car accident at the reunion. My first love and my wife were both trapped in the accident. The car door was mangled, and only by cutting off a leg could one of us survive. To save her white moonlight, my wife, who was the rescue team leader, chose to saw off my leg. She said, "Joshua is an actor. He can't live without his legs." I forced a smile. "I have a bleeding disorder. I'll die without my legs too." As Fiona was carrying Joshua to the hospital, I died in the ambulance. Half an hour earlier, the accident happened right after the class reunion. Joshua and I were in a severely deformed four-seat car. It required cutting off a leg to pry open the wreckage. The car could explode at any time. The rescue team that arrived was led by Fiona's subordinates. Torn between choices, they asked, "Captain, your husband isn't doing well. Should we save him first?" Fiona grabbed the electric saw, expressionless, and walked over to me. "Joshua is an actor. He can't live without his legs." The hard, cold saw blade pressed against my knee. I held Fiona's hand, tears streaming as I whispered, "I have a bleeding disorder. I'll die without my legs too." At that moment, I still hoped she had a tiny bit of feeling left for me. If not love, then at least some affection. But all I got in return was the excruciating pain in my knee. Without any anesthetic, Fiona used a buzzing electric saw to cut through my flesh and bone. Blood spattered into my mouth, mixing with my tears, tasting metallic and bitter. I almost passed out from the pain. Fiona's cold, indifferent voice echoed in my ears like a curse. "Tom, Joshua is an actor. Don't be so selfish." I leaned against the back seat of the car, gradually giving up my struggle. My heart, once full of hope, now lay in ruins. The agony from my severed leg was nothing compared to the heart-wrenching pain in my chest. 7 years of marriage. Even a dog would have become familiar in that time. But why was Fiona, a living person, always so cold? They carried me to the ambulance, but my blood soaked through the blankets, drip by drip, covering the floor. In my fading view, all I saw was red. I glimpsed Joshua clinging to Fiona, crying and saying he was scared. Finally, as Fiona helped Joshua onto another vehicle, I took my last breath. My soul drifted away from the ambulance, drawn towards Fiona's car. Joshua held Fiona's hand tightly, nervously asking, "Fiona, is my leg broken? Will I be able to stand again?" He just furrowed his brow in worry. Fiona comforted him softly. "I'm here. Your leg will be fine. You just rest. When you wake up, it'll be all better." Watching them hold each other, my heart ached sharply. In 7 years of marriage, Fiona was always so cold. She never spoke words of comfort. I used to tell myself it was just her nature. Until a year ago, Joshua returned, and she drunkenly confessed, "Tom, I regret marrying you. I only ever wanted to marry Joshua. I didn't have a choice back then. Now I regret it." 7 years ago, Fiona's father went to jail, and her mother fell gravely ill. With nowhere else to turn, she thought of me. On the night before graduation, Fiona cornered me under the dorm building. The delicate girl, lightly tipsy, embraced me and asked, "Tom, do you like me?" My secret crush was known to everyone, but when the girl I loved asked me directly, I was at a loss for words. Fiona held on to me, her voice strained and teary. "Marry me. Lend me 400,000. 400,000 wasn't a big deal for my family. Seeing her weary red eyes, I trembled as I spoke. "Okay." I truly liked Fiona, enough to buy her companionship with money if that's what it took. Fiona was someone who kept her promises. The day her mother's surgery was a success, she joined me in marriage. Perhaps she never loved me. On our wedding night, Fiona didn't let me close. She faced away, staring at Joshua's photo, sleepless. I believed that living together day by day would eventually touch Fiona's heart. But instead, she grew to hate me more. Like a blind person regaining sight, Fiona stood firm in the city, and I became a reminder of her desperate past. In her career, she soared higher and higher. To her, I was a festering sore hidden under her clothes, constantly reminding her of the days she had to beg and humiliate herself. She despised me, just as she despised her own past weakness and loss of pride. I guess now that I'm gone, she's liberated. Lost in my memories, my heart twisting with pain, I came back to my senses as Fiona helped Joshua into the hospital room. After checks, Joshua was fine, and Fiona's subordinate couldn't help but say, "Captain, maybe you should see your husband. He lost a leg, it's a serious operation." Fiona was about to get up. Joshua clung to her hand, his eyes red and pitiful. "Fiona, I'm scared. What if I wake up and my leg is gone? Can you stay with me?" he said, his tears falling silently, like a frightened sparrow. Fiona couldn't bear it. She gently tucked him in. "Don't worry. I'm here with you." The subordinate was anxious. "Captain, he's going into surgery. Shouldn't you go?" Fiona was embarrassed and angry. "What can I do there? Am I a doctor or a nurse? Can I perform surgery? Can I reattach his leg?" Each word struck deep into my heart, shaking me to the core. 7 years. Even a pet cat or dog doesn't take that long to find affection. I invested everything into maintaining this family, and yet it couldn't win me an ounce of her love. "Fiona, you're free now. No one will stand in the way of your true love." The frustrated subordinate walked away. Fiona's phone rang. It was mother-in-law. "Fiona, where are you? Come see Tom at the hospital." Mother-in-law was sobbing uncontrollably. Her words left me heartbroken yet tender inside. She always said her life was saved by my family, always going out of her way to treat me well. I promised to take her hiking next weekend, but I guess I won't make it. Fiona was about to speak when Joshua clung to her, tearfully saying, "Mom, there's an emergency at work. I'll call back later." Mother-in-law's plea went unanswered. Not that Tom had time to respond. Fiona just turned off her phone. I couldn't help but let out a bitter chuckle. See? Her love for him is deep as the ocean. It would actually be rude if I didn't die now. Joshua tightly wrapped his arms around Fiona's waist and lowered his voice to say, "Fiona, I truly envy Tom. He's got family and friends. Even his mom loves him. But I've got nothing. I've only got you. Please don't leave me." Fiona's hand raised and fell and finally rested gently on Joshua's shoulder. She stayed with him at the hospital for 2 days, clumsily yet carefully helping him wash his face and comb his hair every day. She even did his laundry. I felt like a thief, hiding in the corner watching my wife openly shower another man with affection. My heart was sour and bitter. There was a time I was burning up with a fever. All I wanted was a glass of water from Fiona. She refused. I hoarsely asked her why she couldn't be a bit nicer to me. She just said she was pampered as a kid and didn't know how to take care of people. But seeing her nervously serving him while searching for information online, I finally understood. She wasn't incapable of loving. She just didn't love me. On the 3rd day, my buddy Mike showed up with a death certificate to find Fiona. "You bastard," he shouted. "Tom's lying all alone in the morgue and you're cozying up here." The moment Mike came through the door, he slapped Fiona. She didn't see it coming. Finger marks instantly appeared on her face. Fiona gritted her teeth and held back. "Tom is your brother. Be mindful of your words," she said. "Is it right for you to curse him dead with every breath?" "Tom's your husband," Mike retorted, "and you've shown no concern for him while caring for another man. Is that right?" Without hesitation, Mike dealt another slap. Perhaps feeling she's been hit where it hurts, Fiona's face darkened with anger. "Enough," she said. "I'm only putting up with your nonsense because you're Tom's friend. Don't push it. I've saved too many lives and amputated too many limbs to count." Given the wound wasn't in a critical spot and with ambulances present, there was no way he'd die. Mike's face was streaming with tears. He picked up the half-empty water bottle on the table and splashed it across Fiona's face. "Fiona, whose wife are you anyway? Do you not know Tom has a clotting disorder? You think yourself pure and noble, trading Tom's leg for his life out of love. But what about Tom? What right does he have to die?" Fiona's face alternated between flushed and pale before she finally managed to squeeze out, "I'll get him the best prosthetic. I'll find him the best doctor." Mike, sobbing uncontrollably, suddenly pulled a knife from his bag. "Fine," he said. "I've got money. I'll get Joshua the best prosthetic, too. Right now, I'm gonna make him pay a leg for my brothers." Joshua, frightened, fell off the bed. Fiona shielded him, wresting the knife away with bare hands, then threw her bloodied phone over to Mike and shouted fiercely, "Enough! Even madness has a limit. Tom's been sending nasty messages to Joshua today. How could he possibly be dead?" In disbelief, I moved closer to peek at the blood-stained texts on the screen with Mike. "Stealing someone's wife, you scumbag. Why don't you just die? I'm miserable, you shouldn't be happy either." Line after line, all the messages were curses too nasty to read. I turned to Fiona, pleadingly pushing at her shoulders, trying to tell her I didn't send those texts. "I'm already dead. How could a dead man send texts?" Apparently upset because her beloved was insulted, Fiona was visibly angry. She took a deep breath. "You better stop these stupid tricks. He's my husband, and even if he lost a leg, I'd still take care of him for the rest of his life. When Joshua recovers, I'll take Tom to the best hospital in the country. I'll make sure his life is no different from anyone else's." Mike sneered cynically, uttering every word with tears streaming. "Fiona, stop acting. I'm afraid Tom finds it sickening down below." At these words, Fiona suddenly erupted with rage. She grabbed her phone and dialed the number sending those messages. "You just want me to call you out in person?" The call connected, but there was only silence. Fiona shouted angrily, "Tom, speak up. Keep pretending, and I'll divorce you right now." I gave a nonchalant smirk. "Sorry, this time you can only be a widow." Mike, fully enraged by Fiona, threw the death certificate at her face. "Fiona, it's laid out clearly in black and white, even signed by your mom. Open your eyes and look." My heart raced with anticipation. "Fiona, soon enough you'll know I'm truly gone." Mike was so furious his lips trembled, pointing at Fiona as he spoke each word. "Open your eyes wide. Look carefully. The cause of Tom's death was excessive bleeding due to a clotting disorder. Fiona, because you amputated Tom's leg, he died. You're the murderer." Fiona's face was somber. She snatched up the crumpled death certificate. Her eyes intensely focused on the sparse words on the paper like she was trying to squeeze out a secret. Joshua poked his head out from behind Fiona, looking guilty. "Fiona, it's all my fault." He hugged his slender shoulders, sobbing desperately. "Tom must be mad at you. He bought that death report online to trick you back. Go back. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. It's hard on your mom having to worry at her age." Predictably, his few words made the originally wavering Fiona grow furious. Fiona ripped up the death certificate angrily. "Tom's really gotten smart," she shouted. "Even learned to get fake proof to trick me. Just what do you take my mom for? When your maid learned she was kind-hearted, you forced her to help you lie like this. I never should have saved him. I should have let him be stuck on that mountain to think about how to be a good husband." Word by word, everyone cuts deep. Turns out when your heartache reaches the limit, you end up laughing. But the more you laugh, the more the tears just fall into your mouth. "Fiona, I didn't get to learn this in this life, and I don't want to try again in the next." Mike stared at Fiona in disbelief. "Tom's right there in the hospital. Come with me and say these things to his face." Fiona looked fed up, her patience entirely gone. She picked up her phone and opened a chat with me. Furious, she sent what seemed like a dozen voice messages in a row. "Tom, if you don't reply, don't ever bother coming back. Keep this up and don't blame me when I turn my back on you. Stop messing with my mom. How long are you going to keep this up? I regret marrying you. If I knew you were like this, I would have ended things sooner." Fiona's eyes were red, her chest heaving. The ever-calm Fiona had lost her composure because of me. Too bad she'd be disappointed. I'm really dead. She can't threaten me with divorce anymore. Mike stood by, witnessing Fiona's breakdown, his anger turning to mockery. After a moment, he spoke coldly. "Fiona, just leave. Don't mess up Tom's path." With that, Mike left, completely let down. I pitied Mike's exhaustion, yet my soul couldn't help but follow Fiona. She shot daggers at Mike's back and then comforted Joshua softly before sneaking out the door. Her steps were light, occasionally bringing out a phone I'd never seen before, sending messages. No wonder I could never get in touch with Fiona. She had a backup phone I didn't know about. Soon enough, I found out why she left the house. Fiona parked her car at a well-known tailor shop. "Hi, I'm here to pick up the suit I ordered last month." The salesperson smiled, pulling out an exquisite, luxurious handmade suit. "Fiona, the size you wanted. Would you like to try it on?" Fiona smiled, casually measuring with her hand. "No need. It fits perfectly." I drifted behind her, my heart aching until it was numb. 7 years of marriage, and she never remembered my birthday or our anniversary. She never knew my clothing size, shoe size, or interests. Even when I asked her in advance to get a gift, she'd just transfer me some cash. Yet now, with just her fingers, she knew another man's size by heart. She hadn't changed. She just never loved me. She had them wrap it up carefully, then drove to a nearby dessert shop. Fiona, who never liked sweets, leaned over the counter, seriously eyeing the cute pastries she used to scoff at. "Got anything low sugar? And no mango. My boyfriend's allergic." Fiona's voice was gentle, and the staff praised her for being so considerate and attentive. My heart twisted, the pain nearly causing me to pass out. She left with the beautifully packaged afternoon tea treats, eager to get back to the hospital. I sat in the back of her car, watching her carefully hold the box as she drove. My heart ached so badly I could hardly breathe. Halfway there, Fiona hit the brakes, frowning as she looked to her right. I followed her gaze and saw two of Fiona's college friends, Sunny and Lily, buying wreaths at a roadside paper shop. "What's going on?" Fiona parked on the side and walked over. Sunny, seeing the cake in her car, clenched her fists in anger. "Fiona, are you even human? Tom's having a funeral and you can't even show up, but you have time to buy someone a cake." Lily eyed Fiona coolly, following Sunny's lead. Fiona's face was hard to read as she restrained her anger. "It's one thing for others to help Tom lie, but you two too? What did Tom offer you all, for everyone to help him act out this charade?" She yanked a wreath from the ground. "You've even got these ready. Are you trying to make a bigger scene? Need to plaster it everywhere in the news?" Whack! Before she could finish, Lily suddenly slapped her. Blood trickled down from Fiona's lip. Her eyes showed a fleeting panic. Lily was our mutual friend and was always level-headed, never joking around. As if trying desperately to reason it away, Fiona started fumbling with her phone, trying to call me. "He was just texting Joshua today. How could Tom be dead? You all must be trying to trick me." Lily couldn't hold back anymore, grabbing a paper doll and hitting Fiona with all her might. "Did you see Tom send those texts? Did you hear him say it outright?" The bamboo skeleton cut Fiona's brow. Lily hit with full force. Blood streamed from Fiona's brow down her face. In school, Fiona was always the center of attention. No one had ever treated her like this. But even with blood running into her eyes, Fiona stayed silent. She looked like a soulless shell, her face blank and lost. Red-eyed and frantic, Fiona incessantly dialed my number. Paranoid and wild, she'd try again and again, trying to reassure herself by talking to Lily. "He loves pretending to be a ghost. Wait and see, he'll definitely answer." She kept calling until her lips trembled involuntarily. Lily didn't hold back, delivering one final blow to her hopes. "It's been 3 days. Have you seen Tom? Heard his voice? Checked on him? Fiona, how can you be so sure he's still alive?" Fiona looked like she lost her soul, collapsing onto the driver's seat. "For 3 days, I used to be clingy, texting her every morning and night, even if she never replied. But now, nothing for 3 whole days. That was unheard of before, especially since Lily doesn't lie." Fiona knew that even if everyone else lied to her, Lily wouldn't. With trembling hands, she took out her usual phone, which had been off for 3 days. As soon as she turned it on, messages and texts flooded in like a snowstorm. Most were from my mother-in-law and our mutual friends, all about my passing. There were even a few photos of me drenched in blood on a stretcher. She panicked and looked helplessly at Lily, but Lily and Sunny turned their heads, unwilling to say another word to her. Fiona's eyes turned red, and with shaky hands, she tried messaging me over and over. Tom, why aren't you responding? Tom, stop messing around. Tom, I'm sorry. Please talk to me, Tom. Lily was livid, grabbing Fiona by the collar and dragging her out of the car. The hospital was right across the street. I followed them into the morgue. My mother-in-law rushed up and slapped Fiona twice. The sharp sound echoed in the cold room. Mike and a few of our mutual friends watched coldly. No one stopped it. Suddenly, I felt a sting in my nose. My parents passed away a few years ago, and I thought no one would care if I died. My mother-in-law cried while dragging Fiona down to the floor next to my body, screaming, "For 3 days, where the hell have you been? Tom's lying here all alone. Where were you?" Fiona, full of tears, knelt on the ground, not daring to speak. My mother-in-law kept asking, tearing Fiona apart with each question. Since Fiona wasn't answering, Mike stepped in, cruelly exposing Fiona's ugliest truth. Fiona had spent the last 3 days in a luxurious hospital room with Joshua, too busy fooling around to care that her husband had died. Mike sniffed her shoulder for effect, mocking, "Nice, even got cake. Smells real nice." My mother-in-law staggered, nearly fainting, clutching Fiona's collar, trembling. She questioned, "You cut Tom's leg for some outsider, causing him to bleed to death, and then ran off to be with another man while Tom's body wasn't even cold yet? How did I give birth to someone like you?" For the first time, Fiona's face showed a look of collapse and terror. I didn't know Tom had a bleeding disorder. With a slap, Mike hit her. "What do you know? As Tom's wife, what do you know? Speak up." Fiona had nothing to say. Over the years, she never tried to understand me. I was just like some invisible person, just a part and parcel keeping the family running. Fiona stumbled up, leaning over the morgue bed, refusing to believe. "Tom can't be dead. How could he die? You must be lying to me. Tom's so young, it can't be fatal. I've overseen similar situations many times without mistake." She laughed and cried, despite everyone's attempts to stop her, trying to uncover the white sheet covering me. Lily shoved Fiona away, kicking her in the chest, yelling, "Get away, don't touch Tom with your dirty hands. You're all lying to me." Fiona seemed possessed. She pushed everyone aside, grabbing hold of the sheet, somehow convinced that beneath it lay proof it was all a jest, that I arranged all this just to provoke her. But as she yanked it away, my broken body lay in icy whiteness before her. And then Fiona froze. She stared blankly at my body, carefully reaching out to touch the jagged wound on my knee, a mark of her own making. Fiona leaned in, suddenly pinching my face affectionately, which startled me. In 7 years of marriage, she rarely showed such closeness. Even rarer was such intimacy. I wasn't foolish enough to think this meant she loved me. I figured she'd probably gone mad with fright. Fiona gently stroked my cheek, talking softly to herself. "Tom, please wake up. Okay? I know I was wrong. Tom, don't stay mad at me. When you're better, I'll take you to see the snow you always wanted to see." I suddenly felt a wave of nausea. When I was alive, Fiona called me nothing sweet or intimate. I was like the pots and pans at home, only noticed when needed, shoved aside after use, ready to be summoned or dismissed. In all the years before I died, she never showed she loved me. Now, who was she putting on this affection for? Mike, ever my loyal friend, was turned off by her act as well, pushing Fiona away, unable to tolerate more. "He's been dead for 3 days? Who are you pretending for now? Fiona, you're just a monster. You don't deserve Tom's goodness all these years. Go back to Joshua." Fiona didn't fight back, allowing Mike's nails to scratch her face, leaving trails of blood. She seemed lost, babbling incoherently. "I never thought of leaving Tom. I just got used to him always forgiving me, thinking he'd always be there. Tom would always be with me." Fiona, with bloodshot eyes, collapsed weakly to the floor. I did not love him. I just felt I didn't deserve Tom. Watching this scene unfold brought pain to my heart. It was my love that gave her the freedom to act recklessly. She thought I'd never leave, so she gave away her tenderness to another man, knowing I'd come running back with just a word from her. A girl's insecurities turned into blades, stabbing the one who loved her most in this world. Fiona was too greedy. She wanted to relive her old dreams with her first love, but also wanted me to be there like a guiding light to home. Where in the world can you have it all? Thinking about the ups and downs of the past 7 years, I feel it's laughable, but then I end up crying big tears. 7 years of misplaced love, ending up empty-handed. After I was cremated, Fiona just wouldn't let go of my ashes. She wandered around, like a zombie, lost in her own world. No one could snap her out of it. Mike thought the abusive messages were suspicious and alerted the cops. The car accident was so weird that the police decided to combine the two cases. It wasn't complicated. They quickly found the key evidence. The one sending the abusive texts was none other than Joshua's close cousin. Joshua wanted to create a rift between me and Fiona, so he got his cousin to pretend to text in my style, confusing Fiona. He had an affair with a wealthy man's wife, and to cover it up, he seduced Fiona. The car accident on our school reunion day was planned. Someone had tampered with the car's engine. It was retaliation against Joshua, and the driver was bribed. Through all this chaos, I was the only innocent one who died. I didn't do anything, yet I had to pay the price. After Fiona found out, she drove by herself and killed Joshua. But she was deemed insane and locked up in a mental hospital. She completely lost it, cradling a doll, repeatedly asking, "Tom, do you like me? Tom, will you marry me? Tom, haven't you forgiven me yet?" I knew I had made a mistake. We don't cherish what we have until it's gone. Fiona loved Tom the most. Every day, I heard her repeating these words until my ears were blistered. A love once unforgettable, now growing blurry with time. Sometimes I felt like Fiona could actually see me. She'd often stare at where I was, occasionally giving a weird smile. I felt sorry for her. Other times I just felt anger. "Fiona, once it's spilled, you can't gather water. Don't you understand?" The following year brought a heavy snowstorm, and Fiona died. I had just gone to visit her mother's house for a bit. When I got back to the hospital, all I found was Fiona's body. During a meal, she managed to hide a spoon when the nurses weren't looking. She sharpened it against the hospital walls daily until it became a little knife. Fiona always acted so well-behaved that the nurses didn't pay much attention. Taking advantage of the rare snowstorm, she used the knife fashioned from the spoon to open her own wrist. As I looked at her, I suddenly remembered one evening before graduation. We all had a farewell dinner, sharing our hopes and dreams for the future. Fiona asked me, "Tom, do you have anything you want to do?" My eyes were bleary from drinking, and I blurted out, "I just want to see snow, a big snowfall."